my lovely Atlantis Scalar peeps. How are you doing? I want to let you know I'm very, very happy that you guys are so understanding about Lucas. I know he's got a lot of stuff that he needs to take care of for many of you guys, but he's down with COVID. So I think he's starting to feel like a human today. So that's good. Also, a shout out to Anna Marie, who gave us a good idea for an addition to the intent script for the main service. Dealing with birth trauma. It's traumatic to be in the womb and come out of the womb. And I think that sometimes this goes from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. So we are going to address that because this probably does have an effect on your mental and emotional and spiritual and even perhaps physical well-being. So that's going to be added. I'm always adding something. So that I think is a really great addition. Like, for example, I added, and I told you this last time, reducing phosphorus to the age reversal thingamajigger. All right, now we're going to talk more about LDN. I've got the volume 1 and volume 2. And, you know, like I say, most LDN experts say every life form should be on low-dose naltrexone. I'm just going to read the table of contents, or most of it, for things that it helps. Okay. Multiple sclerosis, and this is volume 1. Multiple sclerosis and lupus, inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, thyroid disorders, restless leg syndrome, depression, autism spectrum disorder, cancer, and volume 2. And there's a lot of research and footnotes to the research and all of these as well. And let's see, we got volume number 2. I can't wait to volume 3. That's going to have a bunch of stuff too. That's going to come out in November. Each of these also talks about the history and pharmacology of low-dose naltrexone. Anyway, volume 2 has talks about chronic pain, gut health, and you know that I just had the sale on microbiome optimization because gut dysbiosis is linked to so many physical, emotional, mental, and emotional diseases. Okay, we'll go there. All right, dermatologic conditions like psoriasis, eczema, etc., Parkinson's disease, pediatrics. Let me see what pediatrics has in it. Like autism spectrum disorder, it talks about that, and it has some case studies. That's pretty cool. Pediatric obsessive compulsive disorder, pediatric anxiety, and PANDAS, PANDAS. Many of you guys know what that is. When all of a sudden a child becomes anxious, aggressive, etc., and it's thought to be related to group A beta hemolytic strep. And approximately 1 in 200 kids are affected by PANDAS, and PANS is something else. Okay. And juvenile chronic fatigue syndrome. I didn't know there was such a thing. Also, let me see. I'm gonna look at the dermatology one and see what sort of diseases that. I should have been more prepared, but whatever. I'm a work in progress, people. Dermatological, basic itching. Okay, you know they make LDN creams. They do, I think, even nasal sprays. I'm not sure about that. Sublingual. So itching works well for that. Haley disease. If you have it, then you know it. If you don't, then you don't need to know much about that. Lichen planopilaris. If you have that, you know it. Psoriasis, as I've said. And you know, eczema, etc. Now, women's health, endometriosis. I think it's really cool. You know, a lot of times when women have surgery for endometriosis, when you cut into the belly and irrigate it, a lot of times those endometrial cells can travel to other places and cause pain, cyclical pain. With the time you're supposed to have your period, all of a sudden you have abdominal pain. And there have been some reports where it even ends up in the nasal cavity. So you have nosebleeds once a month. It's so cool. Anyway, so it helps that. Endometriosis, dysmenorrhea, basically period pain, polycystic ovary syndrome, different hormonal changes, Fertility, infertility, it's awesome for fertility. And there's this doctor in Dublin that has a fertility clinic, and that's the mainstay of his protocol. And traumatic brain injury. Let's see, go back to the contents. It really helps with that. And dissociative disorders, also post-traumatic stress disorder. I think that's probably why I take it. Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases. And, you know, it's really such a safe medication that it's amazing that more people don't take it. It's called the why not drug. The problem is getting your doctor to do it, because what? I never heard of that. What are you talking about? Big Pharma doesn't want you to know about it, doctor. That's why. And, you know, you have to Google, find an LDN doctor to get it by telemedicine, or find the local places. Don't order it directly from a pharmacy. You need to consult with a low-dose naltrexone expert, because everybody has different needs as far as dosing, when to take the dose, if you're on opiates, you know, when to separate the doses, and whether you need ultra low dose instead of starting at regular low dose naltrexone. The problem I've been finding is getting it internationally. I know there's a place in Great Britain that sends that you can get it by telemedicine, basically, and they could send it to any European country. Canada, there's a place in Toronto that is a low dose naltrexone clinic. So if you Google, if you're really good at Googling, you'll find these places with no problem. But again, it's very safe. It costs like $43 a month, which is much less expensive and less toxic than some of the immunosuppressants we take for rheumatoid arthritis and things that you see on TV commercials all the time. And let's see, what else did I want to say? Yeah, so it's so safe that's why it's considered the why not drug. So there are some instances where you can get vivid dreams. If that happens, you usually take it in the morning instead of at night. But usually symptoms, any type of symptoms, are just temporary. And if you have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, your thyroid function will likely get better. So you really need to watch your thyroid function. Get your healthcare practitioner to check it at the appropriate intervals. And also always let your regular health, even though they naysay it because they don't know anything about it. So the ego says, if I don't know about it, then I'm not going to give it. That's ceding too much power to the patient, I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, consider it for anything. The why not drug. Again, it's called the why not drug to many people. I guess I was going to consider reading an excerpt, but maybe not. But anyway, thank you for all the well wishes for the difficult day that was this past week, Eric's death anniversary, and I got the burial coming up this week, so that's not going to be fun. But then it's over, thank God, for another year. And also, I'm a Gaia ambassador, so I'm going to start doing some cool stuff, giving you guys free videos. So stay tuned for that. Watch for that. Every other Friday, I'm going to announce a new giveaway. And yeah, and then I will remind you, got 48 hours left. And it's 72 hours of all free. Okay. And I love the Gaia channel. I have found out so many things. And a lot of the YouTubes that we have are based on some of the cool information about alien hybrids and about the inner earth and about healing matrices and this ET technology. All of this has come from Gaia, and it's just so freaking cool. Anyway, I guess that's it. Please subscribe to the channel, and yeah, subscribe to the newsletter for Atlantis Scalar too, because that's how I mostly announce sales and all sorts of goodies. So the lives, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I love you guys. Hey.